Hello students, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to the session on how to read international relations. This is one of the major area when it comes to paper 2, and every year the number of questions in this particular area is varying. Normally, if you observe, at least 4 questions you get from this particular area. This is what most of the people think about this area. But if you see questions in geography, questions in economy is also associated with international relations. Internal security also, UPSC is trying to give it in such a way that they are related to international relations. So I would say at least there are 6 to 7 questions directly or indirectly related to international relations when it comes to mains. And when we observe prelims, most of the students believe that international relations is only mains oriented topic. But they don't realize that the other meaning of international relations is geopolitics. What is the meaning of it? The geography of a particular area determines its politics. For example, you take the case of Afghanistan. Okay, Afghanistan is completely landlocked, and the access to Afghanistan from the seaport is either through Iran or through Pakistan. So, for Afghanistan, both Iran and Pakistan are important. Now, India has its own interest to have good relations in Afghanistan. So, India can't go through Pakistan. So, we try to choose Iran, and from Iran we are going to Afghanistan. Whereas United States of America can't go through Iran because they have issues with them. So they choose to go through Pakistan to Afghanistan. So for US, Pakistan is important because of Afghan's geography. For India, Iran is important because of Afghan's geography. So I would say geography of this particular country determines our politics with that country and also its neighboring countries. If you see, India want to have good relations with Russia. We want to increase our connectivity with Russia. So, we are trying to develop good relationship with countries like Armenia, Azerbaijan and all, which have border with Russia, so that India can get access to Russia via Iran. So stop studying international relations only from paper 2 point of view. You need to know the other areas associated with this so that you can answer all these 6 to 7 questions which appears in the exam. But before we start and tell you what are the other areas that you need to read which is related to international relations, first let me tell you what is there in paper 2 and what is the actual meaning of these and from where you usually get questions. The very first important thing that we need to focus in international relations is bilateral relationship of India. See here, bilateral agreements involving India and are affecting India's interests. The meaning of this is, just consider India may have bilateral relationship with Sri Lanka. So this is what most of the people understand. But remember, Pakistan and China have bilateral relationship which will have impact on India. So here 2 things you need to understand. Not only India's bilateral relationship with other countries, but also other two countries' relationship which may have impact on India. For example, China is having very good relationship with Maldives today. It had very good relationship with Rajapaksa government before. So Chinese relationship with Sri Lanka and its impact on India is what asked. China is having problem with Vietnam, and what is the impact of this on India is being asked. I hope you understand. The meaning of this particular argument is that please try to understand that when we are talking about bilateral agreements involving India, don't read only India and other countries. Which country is visiting India and where is Prime Minister moving? All this is not alone. You have to see which other countries are having relationship and what is the impact of that. Several times UPSC has asked questions on this. Fine. Next, let us see what is the meaning of this regional groupings. You have some organizations like Trans-Pacific Partnership, right? You have some organizations like Shanghai Cooperation Organization, NPT, NSG, several organizations. But if I am talking about the regional organizations and global groupings, there are two different concepts. Regional organizations means you can consider SAARC, ASEAN, European Union, something of that sort. Global groupings means NPT, United Nations, IMF, all this comes into picture. Now, in the regional groupings, mostly you will observe economic relations today. So let me take the case of what we call as ASEAN. So UPSC may ask you Indo-ASEAN relationship. India participated in BIMSTEC, India participated in SAARC, several groupings which involve India is important. And sometimes these groupings may have certain interests and they may have some agreements. And these agreements may have negative impact on India. For example, you take the case of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. It is a global organization of 16 countries. Okay. Out of the 16 countries, if you observe, 15 countries are industrially developed, whereas India is one country where we observe service sector. These 15 countries are focusing on having free movement of goods, but India is talking of free movement of services. So these groupings is not having good opinion about India because India is demanding free movement of services. So here I want you to know that any regional grouping, if its interest is against India or if it is going to have positive or negative impact on India, it should be important for us. Whether it is at the local or regional level, whether it is at the global level. How exactly should we identify these type? Easily it will be present in your economy or business page, right? Most of the regional and global groupings will be present in the business page. And if it is affecting India specifically, where India is part of it, you will observe in the national news itself. So you need not worry much. Any newspaper you read, if it has major impact, definitely you will read about it. Just make proper notes about it. Is it fine? Next you see, India and its neighborhood relations. Now guys, when I said bilateral, it may be India-Pakistan as well. But when we talk about bilateral relationship, just imagine Modi has visited Rwanda today. So when he is in Rwanda, India's relationship with Rwanda is different from India's relationship with the neighboring countries with which we have border. The reason here is, just remember, when we talk about India's relationship with Bhutan, we will start our relationship analysis historically. We don't try to read what is India's relationship with Rwanda historically. We will try to see how India and Bhutan are related culturally. Not much with countries like Africa and all, even though you may give 1 or 2 points, but it doesn't have much significance. Then it comes to economy, then it comes to defense, then it comes to border management, right? Like this, I can actually talk about 10 to 15 issues where India is having good relations with its neighbor. And remember, even the minute politics, which political party is in power in Bhutan, whether it is pro-India, anti-India, is there elections in Bhutan, all this becomes important for us. You observe Maldives, and today you can see whatever is happening in Maldives is observed cautiously by India, and India's reaction to Maldives will be on the basis of our historical, political, economic, cultural relationship. So, neighborhood means we need to read about Afghanistan because Afghanistan has border with India and it is also part of SAARC. Then the second important country is Pakistan. Next you have to see Nepal, Bhutan, right? Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Maldives. These you have to read in detail. So what about China, US and all? That I'll talk. Some special care has to be taken about few countries, that we'll see. But neighborhood means focus on this first. Here you should know Afghanistan, what is the role of China, what is the role of Pakistan, what is the role of US, what is the role of Russia. Everything becomes important for you, right? Pakistan, what is the role of Iran, what is the role of US, everything becomes important for you. Nepal, what is the role of Pakistan, Bhutan, what is the role of China, Bangladesh, what is the role of China, Myanmar, when we talk what is the role of ASEAN countries, refugees who are present in these countries, as they have border with India, they can easily enter into India, right? Internal matters of Sri Lanka, with whom they have relationship and what type of relationship they have, all these becomes important for us. I hope it's clear. Minute details about these countries are very, very important. Even in the newspaper, if it is there in the world news, I would say please try to read this. Fine. Next you see important international institutions, agencies, fora, structure, mandate. There are several organizations like ADB, Asian Development Bank, New Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. All these are very, very important for you. Here you should know what is their mandate as well. So United Nations, what is its mandate, right? Each and every important issue you have to read here, which will be covered in the news. For example, you take G7 has met now, and there are some important implications of G7 that we have to cover. Effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests. The meaning of this is Germany has some role. UK is planning to move out of European Union. United States want to prevent people from other countries entering. Now, United States is trying to ensure that they will increase the interest rates in their banks. So, what is the impact of this on India? So, even minute things of developed countries and developing countries. For example, you take the case of some countries like China, Brazil and all. If they have some measures and if it will have impact on India, that becomes important for us. So there is trade war going on between India and China. There is some climate change issues of the what we call as Pacific Ocean countries. India is interested in that. So any minute detail where if they have taken any measure and if it is going to affect India, it is very, very important for you. At last, we need to talk about Indian diaspora. Remember, Indian diaspora is present throughout the world. But UPSC asks you question. Last year they asked a question on ASEAN because it was 25 years of diplomatic relationship between India and ASEAN. and India had Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in ASEAN country. So UPSC asked a question about that. So here I want you to know that most of the questions in UPSC with respect to international relations is associated with current affairs. But if we have to understand this current affairs, we need to cover basics. We need to know why US don't like Iran. What is the problem between US and Russia? So these type of basics, if you don't know, you don't understand the politics clearly. And what is the aim of every country? All these basics are required. So most of the people usually ask for books. I would say if you can read post-independence India properly, if you can read world history properly, right? These two are more than enough for you to understand what has happened before. And whenever you are starting for international relations, most of the questions, they come from Jan of that particular year till October of that particular year if mains is in October. So if you can start your preparation from June, you will get a fair understanding of what is happening over a period of time, right? So this is the approach. So if you want books like Shashi Tharoor's and all, I would say you can read, but mostly if you can read from Wikipedia, that should be more than enough. There is no need to worry much about the basics. Or what I would suggest you is, if you are comfortable with my lectures, right? So I have already covered India neighborhood and some important issues like West Asia, ISIS and all. You can watch these basic videos at laix.in/testprep, right? All these videos are available. Once you watch these videos, now this course will be valid for almost 1.5 years. That is, if you take now, I will ensure that you have access to this till next mains, that is 2019 mains. What I'll be doing, I will cover current affairs related to international relations. Once in a while, the videos will be uploaded in YouTube, but mostly there will be continuity of these issues when we talk about the lectures that are available. Rather than reading multiple books, and if you feel, sir, I don't have so much time, but I have interest in reading this, this will be helpful. For those people who are actually preparing for political science and international relations, and if you are not really good in international relations, I have not covered theories of international relations. This is separate. And if you are interested, do let me know. I'll provide you those as well. But I have covered it from GS, but definitely it can be used in your optionals as well. Right, guys? From geography point of view, whatever is required, I will be covering with the current affairs, because geography optional students, whoever has taken this, as I will be covering from geographical aspect, the current affairs associated with that I am going to give you here itself. Is this fine? I hope it is clear, right? Now, after this, I would like to suggest you to read IDSA website, Ministry of External Affairs website, and also, if possible, try to see RIS, Research Information System website, right? If you can see all these together, it would be helpful. If you have any further queries, you can contact us, right? So, whenever you need to have clarity over international relations, please feel free to contact us. The other courses that are available are internal security and geography optional. Online courses are available. You can watch them. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.